What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the only podcast on the internet where you're part of the Roto, part of the chill session, so to speak, and we also keep you up to date with video game and movie news. And today joining us in our smoke circle is good old Roger.
It's a damn good day in the Midwest, Homer.
And Apollo, God of the freaking sun!
Hello, everybody.
Hell yeah, and we have a lot of film news this week. We're going to start off with a big one. Star Wars star John Boyega has been confirmed to lead in Pacific Rim 2. I was already a big fan of Pacific Rim, and now I'm just this more excited for Pacific Rim 2 because I really enjoyed John Boyega as Finn in Star Wars Episode 7.
Fuck yeah.
And I think this is a big casting, and to see him go head-to-head with potentially Charlie Day, that could be really great to see.
That'd be awesome to see.
I'm very interested in seeing what kind of new Jaeger he's gonna have, possibly. Just
have a unique one. What if he has a lightsaber or something?
Yeah, or is he just gonna adopt like the old Gypsy Danger or whatever? But no, that would be a really cool reference if he did actually have some sort of makeshift like katana or lightsaber to go along with his Finn character.
Suits so fast.
Yeah, I also want to know, very, very curious what kind of partner he's going to have, and I'm also curious if he's also going to be the son of Stacker Pentecost, which was
played by Idris Elba. Right?
Yeah, exactly, played by Idris Elba in the first
That's
Pacific
probably what
Rim.
they're doing.
And family seems to be a huge thing in the first Pacific Rim movie. That was how the main protagonist, I forgot his name, was able to link up with his brother anyway, was because they're both like siblings.
Until he found a new partner.
Exactly.
I really like that aspect now that you bring it up, like how they have to go through each other's past in a way. I hope they do that with John Boyega and stuff. Because one cool thing that they set up in the Pacific Rim lore is you have to be in sync with your partner to be able to control this giant Jaeger robot machine.
Exactly.
And that's really cool aspect to add. It's like you never expect that from a robot fighting movie.
Exactly. And a lot of trust that you also need to put into your partner too.
Yeah, like in the first one, that scene when he goes back to that lady's past when she first sees the Jaeger for the first time, or the Kaiju, I should say. That was really sick and a deep moment for the first movie.
That was like one of the more emotional parts.
So nothing but excitement here for Pacific Rim 2. Like I was saying, April 17th, 2017. Couldn't get here soon enough.
Come on!
Come on.
Faster time.
It's definitely one of the most underestimated in terms of fighting or big budget like fighting robot monster fighting like movies. Since Godzilla seemed to overshadow it after its release.
Yeah, I actually like Pacific Rim more than the Godzilla reboot.
I definitely wait for Pacific Rim over Godzilla. It had way more just in terms of robot or just giant monster fighting. It had like at least 3 or 4 different battles or fight scenes that you see. And it was actually, to me, more visually impressive just because of the settings that they took place.
And although Del Toro's not coming back, I'm pretty happy with what they got Stephen D. Knight, who was a showrunner for Daredevil Season 1.
Yeah.
So they have good talent behind it. I have faith.
I actually do, too.
Still would have preferred Del Toro, but
since he was a huge fan of it.
Our next piece of movie news. Lately, the internet's been raging about the Rogue One reshoots going around, and I just wanted to set the record straight about that. One, I don't think it's a big deal because every major blockbuster gets a reshoot. Civil War, all the other movies, they have scheduled reshoots before they even begin shooting in the first place. And recently the directors had to debunk this about all this like rumor, because the internet's been running wild with all these crazy theories about these reshoots. He says they're in no way changing the plot or the action sequences. They're just adding intimate moments between the characters to flesh out their character more. And I think that's a great reason to reshoot in my book.
Especially for a deep and gritty like Star Wars story that we're supposed to get out of this. I don't know how it's supposed to be a more personal.
They say it's going to be like a Private Ryan for Star Wars movies.
Yeah, and it definitely did show that for the first teaser.
It's going to have a new feel. And one of the scenes he detailed was they're going to have an intimate moment in the cockpit, 2 characters. That's as much as I got out of it.
Okay. And especially
now
for
we know
a huge...
what to expect.
I mean, this should definitely be expected for a huge block office hit such as this, especially when you're definitely going to have like multiple screening tests before like probably would be even released because of how near and dear these projects are to people. Until I see like the next trailer and see something contrary to what I saw in the teaser, will I only be really truly worried.
I think this movie's going to be dope, man. I think it has potential to be better than Episode 7 in a lot of ways.
I still have very high hopes for it. I don't know why anyone's crying about reshoots. It's always been part of every movie or anything ever, so...
Yeah, exactly. Just something to get clickbait. And now moving on over to our next piece of movie news. We have some recasting for the It reboot coming out in 2017. Instead of Will Poulter, we are now going to have Bill Skarsgård playing It. And we also have a new director in Andreas Muschietti. Sorry if I butchered that. And he's the director of Mama, that horror movie that came out a couple of years ago.
And pretty much only Mama.
Yeah. Apollo, how do you feel about all this news?
This does not excite me. I was really excited for Eyebrows originally, to see him take on the role of It.
Yeah, like at first it was kind of iffy, but once you really think about it, his eyebrows could have really added to the facial scariness.
At first I was like, that's retarded, but after a while I was like, that's perfect. And now they're already dumping it because of, scheduling issues or whatever you said.
Yeah, because they had to postpone it and stuff. Because the original director left because of creative differences, so they had to postpone it to find a new director. In result, they lost Poulter.
Jesus, this does not give me hope.
Especially with the new director they got, the director of Mama.
Yeah.
It feels now it feels like this movie's gonna be more of a cash grab than an actual worked on reboot.
And the new person that's playing as Pennywise, Scott or whatever, he looks like a pretty boy. I don't know how he's supposed to play as like a creepy clown or whatever. It's similar. Who played him last?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. He has a weird particular face as well, as well as eyebrows especially. So I don't know. I would definitely have to see some sort of performance from him because this guy. What was it?
Bill Skarsgård.
Or Bill Skarsgård, or whatever.
Who's only been in, smaller films.
Yeah, stuff that even IMDb didn't really have that much information about. So it's very sketchy, to say the least.
My excitement level went from, 8 out of 10 down to, 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
now a trailer's going to have to save the movie for me.
Now we have more things to worry about than having a subpar or even decent spider scene at the very end.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to stick with that spider stuff. A lot of people say no.
More stop motion.
At least it'll be better CGI, hopefully.
Stop motion.
That's the hopes. And the spider actually looks scary, maybe. That's if they stick with that. Our excitement level down the toilet. And now we're going to move on over to some superhero news. Marvel has recently gotten their rights back to their character Namor, who's been in film purgatory hell. The rights weren't necessarily belong to Fox or Sony or anything. It was just in limbo. But Marvel finally somehow got the rights back. Roger, can you give us the details on Namor since he's a lesser known character?
I mean, to be honest, think of Aquaman if he was more elfish and he had some sort of wings attached to his ankles area, kind of giving you some sort of Greek more vibe. He basically has the same powers as him, but I don't know how much to the extent, as much as Aquaman. Just because Aquaman is almost as powerful as Superman in terms of strength wise. I don't know if he's nearly as powerful.
Plus, Aquaman's trident can pierce Superman.
Oh yes you can. And in previous Namor, I guess, comic books, I don't know if this is actually true to his normal canon, but apparently not only get some sort of sea creatures to come help him, but he can also copy certain sea creatures' abilities to use for his advantage. So I thought that was really kind of different. As to right now, as where it's gonna fit in the Marvel EU, we have no actual details on that at all, or who can be playing.
Phase 4 or 5 at this point.
Yeah, you're gonna see that at least, because I couldn't get really too much information as to if there's gonna be even any rumors to be writers, directors, or anything like that. So as time flies, will we get more information?
Yeah, because we pretty much have a full slate of Marvel movies till 2020, so not really much room. And as far as comparing it to Aquaman, I think this is potential. Because if Aquaman sucks, at least I have this to look forward to. But if Aquaman's good, at least I have another cool sea creature character to look forward to.
And it might actually bring a whole new fan base to life, just similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I mean, it all depends on exactly who can play as Namor, because I honestly couldn't even think of anyone as of right now for the limited knowledge I know of this character.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're going to zoom on over to our next piece of movie news with some Flash news. The newest Flash film coming out in March 16th, 2017 has landed a new director in Rick, forgive me for trying to pronounce this, Famuyiwa? I don't know. I'm just going to call him Ricky F.
Has he been hit in any sort of movies?
Well, yeah. I just looked up his filmography, and he's known for Dope, a movie called Our Family's Wedding, and The Wood. And I know recently The Dope came out in 2015. That was a pretty
really
decent hit. It's currently on Netflix. I haven't checked it out yet, So unfortunately, I can only say so much about this director because I haven't seen any of his work. But I still think it's better than bringing on the guy who they had before, which we reported on a couple weeks ago, who was the writer for Abraham Lincoln Hunter and then all those other terrible movies.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was the original
Garbage.
director.
Absolute garbage.
So I think this is a plus, but I still think
agree.
they should have got like a bigger name for a Flash movie, especially because BVS was in trouble.
They're running low on all these directors trying to do all these other Star Wars, other Disney projects in general.
Yeah, right.
They're all spread thin.
Especially when you got like a big name like James Wan doing Aquaman and stuff. I was hoping they'd do the same for the Flash, but if Dope was good, this guy could wow us.
I agree.
I'll give him a chance.
I'll definitely give him a chance as well.
We'll see how the DC EU unravels going forward, with our next movie actually being Wonder Woman,
Ooh,
coming out early 2016.
definitely can't wait for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Now we're going to move on over to some Sam Raimi news. I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi. He recently directed Oz the Great and Powerful, which I actually really enjoyed for what it was. And if you remember the tornado sequence from that, I guess he got a real kick for it because
He got a sick thrill.
Yeah, because now he wants to direct a tornado heist movie called Stormfall. And
He just loves tornadoes, okay, man?
yeah, he's got addiction since then. He's like, man, if I can make one tornado, imagine what I could do with like 100 tornadoes.
The world will be mine.
I'm really fascinated to see what Sam Raimi could do with a tornado heist movie. Like, what kind of movie is that?
It sounds intense, and I can't wait to see it. It sounds original and retarded.
If anyone else was behind it, I'm not sure if I'd be down, but Sam Raimi's done stuff like, I was saying, Oz Great and Powerful, the original Spider-Man trilogy, Ash vs. the Evil Dead series, so nothing but good stuff from this man, so I'm excited.
I was gonna say, like, what? I can't wait for the characters to, like, come up with the idea for using a tornado for a heist. Like, they just see it, like, on the news, and they're like, there's a Category 5 tornado coming. We can use that to our advantage. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
I just want to see it all come together.
I just hope it doesn't interfere too much with the Ash vs. Evil Dead series, because Season 2 is coming out later this year, and we're going to continue our after show. Stay tuned for that. And while we're still on Sam Raimi and his original Spider-Man trilogy, we had a leak of what the villains were supposed to look like from the Spider-Man 4 of the Sam Raimi trilogy, and it was supposed to be Mysterio and the Vulture. And the reason I want to bring this up is because I think it's no coincidence these concept arts are being released right now, right before Spider-Man Homecoming, especially with the rumors that Michael Keaton was supposed to play Vulture. So I think this is just them testing the fan base, seeing if they'd be down for Vulture and Mysterio, seeing what the excitement level would be for this movie, because the movie was, Spider-Man 3 was released like 10 years ago almost, so why release it now? I think it's no mistake that this was leaked.
I've definitely been advocating for Mysterio for a while. He's like kind of similar to the Joker to Spider-Man in some aspects, where it's the mind versus like the brawn, or in some aspects.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any sort of superpower, so he has to use like the lights, illusion, and just science, basically.
Make it seem like he's like this magical being.
Yeah, that is being that he actually wants to see him in himself. It's kind of like a really cool self-expression of himself. That's really cool in the psychological terms of a character. I really like.
Yeah, I hope he's the main focus and Vulture's like a side villain.
Yeah, how do they meet? How do they even join? I like the way you fly.
Maybe they don't join, just they have two separate things going on. Spider-Man's got to stop them both, all while doing the homecoming dance. How will it go down?
Oh, not the homecoming dance. What is it gonna do with Mary Jane?
Mary Jane Watson. And actually, the new Mary Jane's looking pretty hot. I forgot who's playing her, though.
Is it gonna be like is she like appropriate age, or is she also gonna be like 16 or something?
No, she's also going to be that 16, 17 range.
Okay, really nice. I was gonna say, I would hate if she looks obviously older than the actual kid. That'd be so fucking weird.
And before we move on over to video game news, we have a video game movie news. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to not only star, but he's going to produce in the Division film, which was based off the 2016 game. Roger, how do you feel about that?
Is Ubisoft, like, just seeing the Ratchet and Clank approach, and they're like, oh yeah, we should definitely do that, and, like, let our video game movie probably flop? I honestly do not know what inspired Jake Gyllenhaal to even want to pursue this movie. I mean, it's not like the story wasn't the Division's main forte.
Yeah, it was actually pretty bland, especially knowing that you don't see the disease.
Yeah, you
the
just
game.
see the aftermath of the disease. You just see body bags laying around, and everyone else is not affected by the disease of any sort. And it's like, okay, what's the story behind this? And I haven't played the Division. I only played the beta, like 10 hours worth of it.
It seemed like a mildly half-assed game, and the multiplayer was a disaster from what I heard, especially with all the hacking.
I actually heard a lot about that too.
Yeah, it was definitely a disappointment.
I already saw a bunch of my own friends were level 99s, and it's like, I don't think that's accurate.
Exactly. What the fuck?
I'm not even going to bother getting into it. It's like, everyone else already won, I'm done.
Yeah, right.
Siege is the Tom Clancy for me, thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully Wildlands is going to be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean,
Fingers crossed.
The only thing good going for this, sort of like movie news is that we literally know nothing about the story. Like, so much, we know so little that they can put as much creative room as they need. Super vague, the whole entire story and setting, that they can really fill in the gaps, I think, with ease. But I'm not overall hyped or excited for this until I see a trailer, a proper trailer.
I'm not excited for the Division itself. I'm just excited to see some more Jake Gyllenhaal, I suppose. Hopefully it's good. Like you were saying, they can do anything they want with it, really, because the story was so bland and just there. Potential be good, potential be bland. Now we're going to move on over to some TV news for this episode. And now X-Men's going to try to jump on that superhero game, kind of like Marvel and DC with Flash and Arrow and Daredevil. And they're going to try a show on FX called Legion, and they're going to have a psychological thriller show. Roger, can you tell us a little bit about the character Legion?
From what I looked at from his superpowers, it ranges from telepathy, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, time travel, and reality warping. This is the series-centered villain. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see how they're going to actually take them down. And I'm very interested in see who is actually in the X-Force, because they're definitely going to need some pretty good aces up their sleeve in terms of anyone that can at all take care of this guy. It's actually going to be executive produced by Noah Hawley, who did Fargo, which I actually...
yeah, I heard great things about Fargo.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of it. It's actually not too bad. I just haven't really got back into it because I was watching Soul Eater at the time, and I got my interest mostly.
Fargo is also on FX, and I hear FX is trying to aim to be like the HBO for normal television.
You know what? They have a really good track record. If there's anyone else in terms of on television I can really trust, it's probably FX, if anything. Because I used to watch a lot of their old...
Except you guys remember that annoying commercial? FX has the movie.
Yeah, FX.
Oh yeah, dude, Jesus Christ.
The new X-Men characters will have little to nothing with the X-Men films.
Yeah, kind of like the other shows as well.
Bastards.
What really excites me about this is how they're going to separate themselves with the psychological thriller feel to it, which could be really nice for the superhero genre as a whole. From the sounds of the villain Roger laid out, I think this could have kind of a Jessica Jones vibe, where the villain had mind control, where he could control your mind, read your mind, whatnot.
But will he actually use all the powers that's listed from what I've looked up? Because I don't want him to be like Apocalypse and be able to dematerialize atoms and on the molecular level and not be able to use it in a fight scene for some strange reason.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe later on in the seasons he'll use his time travel thing, like a season finale mindfuck type thing.
To wait and see until more news comes out for the most part.
Yeah.
We don't even know who the writer is as of yet.
Yeah, it's just coming out. At least we got this amount of details out of it. Our next piece of television news is about an HBO show called Westworld, and it's going to be a adaptation of the novel. And what really excites me about this show coming out is it's going to be written by Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother, who's co-written a lot of his big movies such as Memento, Prestige, Inception. List goes on. Exactly. I was the same as you, Paulo, just sold there. And not only that, he's going to direct the first episode of the season, which is what most showrunners do to get the feel for the show. And then someone else is going to take reins from then on out. Paulo, you're sold. Basically, it actually takes place in a theme park in a futuristic post-apocalyptic world. So I don't know if it's going to have a Five Nights at Freddy's feel or whatnot, but I have trust that Jonathan Nolan could do this. Paulo, are you excited for this kind of mindfuck show?
It sounds weird as fuck, but I'm down. And if anyone can do it, it'd be someone from the Nolan bloodline.
And Anthony Hopkins is actually good. actually signed up to be in the movie, as well as Ed Harris, who also, if you guys know, is Radio's dad or whatever. We haven't been teaching radio. Radio's the one that's been teaching us.
I just think Jonathan Nolan can do no wrong. I just hope maybe like later on for season 2 or something, Christopher Nolan could come on board. That'd be cool, and probably get a lot of more people, just in case they don't know Jonathan Nolan's behind some of the genius.
Definitely get his name recognition out there.
Yeah, and that's a show I can't wait to see. Probably airing same time around Silicon Valley season 4. Now we're moving on over to the video game news section of the show.
Yeah.
And this is actually pre-E3, so we're getting a little juicy stuff. We got our story trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn. That's coming out February 28th, 2017. Paulo, how did you feel about this only trailer of the week?
I was already pretty excited for this game, but now I am very, very excited. It seems like a super original, like, kind of futuristic Lara Croft in a way. Like,
I got that feel kind of in a way.
Almost Lara Croft mixed with Far Cry Primal or some shit.
Yeah, it is almost like that.
And then throw in robot dinosaurs. Gold.
Yeah, the storyline from what I saw in the trailer looks very intense and deep and intricate, so I'm excited to see where that leads. I can't wait to fucking pick up this mother of a game.
Especially in this trailer, hints to you what the story's going to be a little bit about. Saying a lot that both you and your so-called surrogate father are both outcasts, like among like your tribe or something like that. And that you might have this tribe doesn't really trust like whoever your mother is, and you don't know why, really. And then you get a little hint towards near the end of the trailer, which to me kind of like felt like it might have spoiled something probably later on like in the game, so I was a little...
I hope not. Fingers crossed. I was already sold on the game, like Apollo was saying, but knowing it's going to have a good story, I'm pre-ordering this right away. We don't have too long of wait. It's coming out February 28th, 2017. And I'm sure we're going to get more gameplay and whatnot at E3.
True. I can't wait to hunt me some robot animals, whatever the hell those are, and I hope it explains them.
Yeah. I
Why
hope
are animals like this?
I hope it explains them in a good way, and it showed in the trailer you could tame them because she was riding one of them as she was hunting down other like raptor
that's
lions.
pretty cool.
Fun.
Got more of that Far Cry Primal feel.
And that's coming out February 28th, 2017, exclusively for PS4.
Suck it, Xbox One. Nerds.
And our final piece of video game news is official confirmation of Final Fantasy XII Remastered. And I believe this is going to have the same kind of gameplay Final Fantasy VII is going to have. And it's going to revamp, get rid of that turn-based gameplay, which I personally respect, but a lot of people are iffy about it. And it's going to have more of the Kingdom Hearts third-person slasher feel, which is pretty fun. And I've never played Final Fantasy XII, but I looked at the original launch trailer for back in 2005, and for the time it looked beautiful, and the story looks really good. I recently just got a huge chunk out of the way of Final Fantasy X. I think it even looks better than Final Fantasy X in my book. Will it be? Who knows?
This was actually like the first Final Fantasy game I played at a friend's house right before 13 came out. And I was like very stoked from the beginning because the people who make Final Fantasy Square Enix, they just know how to entice you right off the bat. Like every Final Fantasy game starts off in a really cool setting, in a really cool situation that has no way but to really grip you, like and get you to the edge of your seat. And this one just starts off with an awesome fucking like war going on that ends in a really cool story-esque way, and the rest is almost kind of like a counteraction to that, where it's a lot more chill, relaxing. The town is very much alive. From the very limited experience I had playing this game, mind you, I've only played probably like 4 or 5 hours worth of it at best. And I'm actually really excited, especially to be a pirate.
No, yeah, I was just about to say that actually. I'm really excited for that like pirate vibe from it, which is new to the Final Fantasy for me at least. Because I've played 10, 13, I'm about to play 7, so it's new to me. And at the Final Fantasy Orchestra we saw, I really want to try Final Fantasy IX now, because they showed a really cool gameplay and a really cool like adventurous theme that just it got me.
I just want to see that guy from Kingdom Hearts 2 that I love. I forget his name. That's actually from the Final Fantasy IX or whatever.
Plus, it's great to get newer fans like Apollo on board. He doesn't have to deal with the turn-based gameplay. He can do the slasher and get the great story and get the great visuals, which Final Fantasy's always been known for great visuals. and great sound.
Thank goodness, because I'm not down for that turn-based so much.
Yeah, dude, Apollo, if you get on board with Final Fantasy, this is the best time, because 15's coming out, 7 Remastered, which a lot of people say is the best one out there, and now 12, you lucky bastard.
It's a good time to be alive, homie.
Yeah, I just hope, actually, I know I'm tired of these remasters, but I want like a true Kingdom Hearts remaster, not like the port they did for PS3, like a true remaster.
Especially for remasters that were like just fucking last gen, like late last gen, like the fucking Skyrim remaster that's supposed to be rumored. That's fucking retarded. It's stupid in every goddamn feasible way.
Other ones like Tomb Raider remaster, God of 3 remaster. We didn't necessarily need
games that already look good already. Oh, that's so stupid.
And Batman Arkham, we didn't need it, but I'm down for it.
Actually, to be honest, I'll just be down for it, just because for a game that's centered on fighting a lot of people and a lot of enemies, you kind of do need like 1080, or like 60 frames per second, probably preferably.
Just so you guys know, before we end the show, next week we're not only going to have a Warcraft review, we're going to have an E3 special, and we're going to give you all the lowdown of E3, all our opinions, and it's going to be great. I hope you join us, smoke down for it. It's going to be a fun time.
It's definitely going to be definitely the Christmas came early this year, homie.
And from some of the leaks I've seen, it's going to be a great E3. I can't wait to get surprised. Oh, it's going to be great. And if you have time, please visit our website at www.stonermanshow.com. There you get the lowdown on our show, and we have the podcast Stonerman memes, a lot of cool stuff. You definitely want to check it out. And if you've listened this far into the show, you might as well just comment, rate, and subscribe at this point. Am I right, fellas?
Oh, I definitely agree.
Clicky.
Just help us out. Help me out!
Well, as always, stay lifted, my friends.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Have a chillaxing day, everyone, and always remember, may the force be with you.
Always.
Forever.
No, if we're gonna even go that far or that deep into Pokemon, we need to. Then why don't we just go into the reproduction process? Like for Scyther, for instance, how? Just think of like the reproduction process. If you're a female, you probably would hate yourself if you had to reproduce with a Scyther. You probably had to get like the fucking like baby would claw out of you with its own C-section. And wait, do the Scyther women even die in the process? I wouldn't blame them. Well, and is that why Scythers hate red then? Because maybe like as soon as they are born, there's blood on their hands or blood on their face, and then maybe it scars them. For all we know. Scythers are fucking badasses which I'm trying to say, I guess. And maybe like the fucking sword dance is like some sort of insect way of like attracting female mates or something to make their claws look extra sharp and extra sexy.
Scyther confirmed, worst Pokemon to give birth ever.
Worst Pokemon to reproduce ever.
Yeah, dude, what do they grab onto? They just cut each other up?
Yeah, what do they do? They grab, like, does he, like, stick his blades into the woman he's having sex with and then, like, just to get, like, support him as he thrusts his, like, insect dick into her vagina? Like,
and then what about Voltorbs? Do they just asexually reproduce?
Oh, yeah!
Or do they just, like, rub up against each other?
Oh, my God, that's actually really couldn't mean. Or did some sick bastard, like, make a Voltorb just to explode?
Yeah, are they, like, a lab experiment?
Oh, my God, like, just some asshole's like, oh, I just have a Voltorb, I'll just make it explode on the person's strongest Pokemon, I'll have an advantage.
Dun, 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 dun.
Fucking A is so stupid.